Good morning everyone, it's me again, Clam from Clam Travel Vlog, and today I'm going to bring you along with me to explore one of the most highly rated trail in Melbourne, the Bay Trail. So currently I'm located at Westgate Landing on Fisherman Bend of Port Melbourne. This is the western end of the Bay Trail. Westgate Landing is a jetty to provide ferry service to cross the Yarra River to reach Spotwood Jetty. So by using this ferry service, you can actually connect to Spotwood, which means that you can actually connect to Hobson Bay Trail as well. So the ferry service runs in between 6:30 in the morning and 6:50 in the evening. Meanwhile, it operates 7 days a week, exclude public holiday. The fare for the ferry service is $2.70 on weekdays, one way, and $5 on weekend, one way as well. So let's start now to ride on Bay Trail. Let's go! Alright, Bay Trail. It's a roughly 32 kilometers trail, runs in between Westgate Landing in Port Melbourne and Hazel Priest Reserve in Mordialloc. So don't be confused between Bay Trail and Hobson Bay Trail. Although they are both named as Bay Trail also known as Beach Road Trail, as it runs along Beach Road. It is located at the eastern side of Yarra River. Meanwhile, Hobson Bay Trail, also known as Bay Trail West, is located on the western side of Yarra River. So now I'm crossing this heritage railway line, the Web Dock railway line. So the highlight of this Westgate Park is the pink lake that you can see when you're driving on top of the bridge. The lake is a saltwater lake. It often turns into pink color during a drier summer period due to it contains a high level of salt, and during summer it became high temperature, which also due to lack of rainfalls. So this part is a bit gravel, but it's fine gravel. So morning. So there's some information board of Westgate Park if you're interested to have a read. So apparently there's two lakes in Westgate Park. This is one lake, and there's another one I just passed. So this is the saltwater lake, the pink lake that will turn into pink during summer. Apparently the other lake is actually a freshwater lake, so don't get confused. The pink lake is actually located just next to the Westgate Park car park. Okay, now leaving Westgate Park. So like I mentioned earlier just now, I'm currently located at the suburb of Port Melbourne. So Port Melbourne is one of the major seaport suburbs of Melbourne. It was originally known as Sandridge by William Drake in 1839. So he named the area Sandridge due to the ridge of sand dunes along the beach that he found. So apparently in the year of 1884, Sandridge was renamed into Port Melbourne. This is the view of Port Phillip Bay. So this morning I start riding at around 8:20 in the morning. It's a very cold day today, but luckily today is not a rainy day, so it's going to be a dry but cold day. So now at the front is a historical pier known as Princess Pier. So Princess Pier, originally known as New Railway Pier, it was built to support the railway pier, which is today Station Pier. So it was renamed into Princess Pier after Prince of Wales, who has visited Melbourne in the year of 1920. So apparently due to poor maintenance, most part of the pier has been in poor condition and has been demolished. These are all the old railway line, part of Sandridge railway line. So these are the remaining part of the Princess Pier, and they only left the bottom pillars of the pier. So of course Princess Pier has become a famous photography area due to the remaining bottom pillar in the sea after the demolition of the most part of the pier. Hey, just next to Princess Pier, this is Station Pier, another historical pier in Port Melbourne. So it was originally known as Railway Pier due to the defunct Sandwich Railway line connected to the pier. It was a major point for immigrants coming from the sea during the early 20th centuries. So today's station pier has been used as the home of world-famous ferry service, the Spirit of Tasmania, which connect between Melbourne and Devonport in Tasmania. So this part of Bay Trail is also known as Melbourne Solar System Trail, as this 5.9 kilometers Melbourne Solar System Trail featuring 10 pieces of culture of planets in our solar system, which including Sun. Okay, now we are entering the suburb of Elwood Park, which is named after Prince Albert, consort of Queen Victoria. Okay, so once we reach Sandbar Cafe at the right, we're actually entering the suburb of Meadow Park. So there's two theories regarding the name origin of Meadow Park. The most widely acceptable version was mentioning that Meadow Park was named after the Meadow Park railway station, part of now defunct St Kilda railway line. It was believed that they named the railway station Meadow Park due to the location of the station being in the middle of the southwest boundary of Elwood Park. The second theory was mentioning that Meadow Park was named due to the area being in the middle of Elwood Park and Port Phillip. So along this beach route, which is on my left hand side, you can see a lot of cyclists riding on it, as this is one of the most famous riding routes, regardless on the route or on the trail. So now we are entering St Kilda West. So on my left hand side, Botanic Gardens of St Kilda, which means we are actually inside the suburb of St Kilda. And on my right hand side, this is the famous St Kilda Pier. So St Kilda is one of the most iconic suburbs in Melbourne, especially for tourists, considered as one of the nearest seaside suburbs from the CBD. It was named by Lieutenant Governor Charles Le Troop after a schooner, the Lady of St Kilda. On my left hand side, there's two heritage buildings. It's the Palace Theatre and the Luna Park. So the orange building on my left is the Palace Theatre, and this is the Luna Park. So Palace Theatre, like what I mentioned, was built in 1912. It is the largest theatre theatre in whole Australia, which has a capacity of nearly 3,000. And Luna Park, this is an amusement park in St Kilda. It is the first ever Luna Park built in Australia. So one thing good about this section of this Bay Trail, it is because it was listed as bike only. I actually mentioned it, it's not a share path, it's only for bike, for cyclists, and even some signboard they actually mentioned as well. So it's a lot safer and to avoid pedestrian. Of course, there's still some pedestrian, just understand, and start to walk on this trail. So you still have to be careful.
Meanwhile,
whoa, look at that. The view of Port Phillip Bay. You see, split out. Pedestrians have to walk inside, and now this is for cycling only. So at the front, we're going to cross Ulster Creek, also known as Elwood Canal at this section. Once we cross the creek, we're actually entering the suburb of Elwood. So Ulster Creek is a short creek that rises from Ulsterwick. It was named after the suburb of Ulsterwick because the creek rises around the area of Ulsterwick. Meanwhile, the word Ulster, actually a German word, means magpie. So after we cross the creek, and this area of Elwood is actually a historical area. So what is significant about this Point Ormond? Point Ormond, originally known as Little Rick Bluff, it is historical area due to its being the first ever quarantine station in Victoria. So this place was used as the landing spot and also to isolate a Twyford ship, Glen Huntly, came all the way from Scotland. So apparently only 52 passengers out of 190 passengers on the ship survived through the journey from Scotland to Melbourne. And then on the left hand side of this Point Ormond, there's a road called Glen Huntly Road which connected to this area. The road was named after the Twyford ship as well as the suburb of Glen Huntly. Meanwhile, why do they change the name to Point Ormond? It was named after Captain Francis Ormond Sr., who has visited this area. He was the father of Francis Ormond Jr. Francis Ormond Jr. is a famous philanthropist who has a strong interest in education. He was notable being one of the founders of today RMIT, Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology, as well as Ormond College, a residential college of University of Melbourne. So on my right hand side, this is one of the famous beach in the area, Elwood Beach. So regarding this suburb of Elwood, Elwood was also named by Lieutenant Governor Charles Latrobe after Thomas Elwood, a famous English quarter. We have to slow down here. It's getting more and more people. Now it's early in the morning. There's already so many people walking around. Imagine later of the day, there's going to be more and more people, especially during summer. So on my right hand side, this is Elwood Pier. Once you cross Elwood Pier, we are entering the suburb of Brighton. So Brighton is another famous suburb in Melbourne. It was named after the Brighton property owned by Henry Denty. Henry Denty was a local pioneer in the early settlement. This man is doing wrong. This is only for cyclists.
That's no good.
No, it's just like I mentioned, there's some people they don't care. The rules. Pedestrian joggers, you have to be inside. This is only for cyclists. So this is what annoyed a lot of cyclists. A lot of pedestrians, they don't obey the rules, and then once they caught in an accident, they blame the cyclists being careless. So you can see here all the expensive houses on Brighton. Look at that. Yeah, so beautiful. So once you reach Brighton Pier, you have to slow down as well because this is another famous tourist area. How many people is riding on the street? It's a major culture in this area. And the junction at the front, turning left, is actually going into Denty Street. Denty Street, if you pay attention to what I said just now, is named after Henry Denty, one of the early pioneers in the area of Brighton. Okay, going down here, you're actually entering the famous Brighton Beach. It's also the home of famous tourist spot in Melbourne. The 82 colourful bath boxes. So this is a railway station, the nearest railway station to get into Mayfield, Brighton Beach Railway Station. Look at this view. We are entering the suburb of Hampton. The suburb of Hampton was named after one of the early local settlers, Dallas Hampton. So on my right hand side, this is Travel Barker over. Once you cross this over, you're actually entering the suburb of Sandringham. So this over was named after Travel Barker, an Australian rules legend who played for St Kilda between 1970s and 1980s. He was also an inductee of Australian Football Hall of Fame class 2019. Unfortunately, he passed away in the young age of 39. Next to the oval, there's actually a place called Sandringham Anchorage. There's one special thing about the Anchorage because there's the home of a submarine wreckage, a J-class submarine known as J7. It was built for World War I and then being decommissioned and dismantled, and the whole of the submarine being sunk in the anchorage to use as a breakwater. So this suburb, Sandringham, was originally known as Gypsy Village. It was renamed by local parliamentarian Charles Jones in the year of 1888. He named it after the residential of Prince of Wales, Sandringham House. Look at that. Nice view. Nice view. Look at this beautiful view of Port Phillip Bay. Currently, I'm at the location of the border of suburb of Sandringham and Blackrock. And here at the front, this location is called Half Moon Bay. There are a few Half Moon Bay actually located in Victoria, apart from the one in Blackrock. The other Half Moon Bay is in Torquay, Mount Eliza in Mornington, and as well as indented head in Geelong. So this little black, this one, the little black spot that I mentioned just now, is a wreckage of a Royal Australian Navy vessel which built in late 19th centuries. It is a breastwork monitor ship. It was decommissioned in the year of 1921 and being sunk in this area in 1924 as a breakwater. And today the area surrounding the wreckage has become a famous scuba diving spot for scuba diving lovers. So now I'm entering the suburb of Blackrock. This suburb, Blackrock, it was named after holiday house, Blackrock House, owned by Australian politician Charles Hopton Epton. So now we are entering the suburb of Beaumaris. So Beaumaris was originally known as Spring Grove. It was named after Beaumaris Park, owned by James Brickford Moise. He named after his property Beaumaris Park after the West Coastal Resort Beaumaris Castle, which was built by the former King of England, King Edward I. So going down slow, wide, a lot of blind spot. So don't take the risk and ride fast, because once you hit someone, 大条了 means big problem, 大件事啊.
It was at this moment.
Hi everyone, it's still me, Clam from Clam Travelvlog. So last week I came here to do this bay trail. Unfortunately, from this point until the end of the bay trail, it was not being recorded. So a week later, which is today, I decided to come back again to re-record this part from Beaumaris Yacht Club to Mordialloc Creek. So the only difference for today is I'm riding my mountain bike instead of my road bike. Because after recording this session, I'll be exploring another trail. It's a gravel trail. So this is the view of Rickers Point. So now we are in the suburb of Menton. The naming history about Menton is later to be known. It was believed they named it after an Italian Mediterranean resort, Menton. So since I'm in Menton, I'm actually quite near to the southern end of the Bay Trail. So let me give a little bit of simple conclusion. So Bay Trail is around 32 kilometers. Northwestern end at Westgate Landing, southeastern end at Mordialloc Creek. Of course, there are few pros and cons. It is actually quite an easy trail for beginners. So basically the whole trail is quite flat apart from the section between Sandringham and Beaumaris, especially in Blackrock. There's a little bit of climbing. Another pros of this trail is the scenery along this trail is very beautiful. It runs along Beach Road and Port Phillip Bay. So apart from enjoying the beautiful scenery of the bay, you can also see a lot of beautiful mansions and houses. Another pros about this trail is I found out that there's a lot of public toilets and water stations. So for people that have bad bowel, this trail is good for you. You don't have to worry where to find a public toilet. And of course, with a lot of water stations available along the trail. You don't have to carry a lot of water. You can refill your water bottle anytime. Another big pro is the trail has a big culture of cycling. Regardless you're riding on the trail or on beach route, local residents actually aware of cyclists. One of the biggest cons is there's a lot of blind spot, especially the trees on every turning corners. The second cause of this trail is crowded. There will be a lot of pedestrians. Okay, on my left hand side, this is the classic building, the Menton Hotel, the landmark of this suburb, Menton. Alright, now we are entering the suburb of Parkdale. Parkdale is a suburb that gazetted in the year of 1999. It is originally a locality between Hampton and Mordialloc. Parkdale was named after William Parker, a local settler during the early days. Another monument. This is an example that some people don't even care about cyclists. Technically, cars have to stop at an intersection for pedestrian or cyclists to cross. Entering the suburb of Mordialloc. So regarding suburb of Mordialloc, it is derived from an Aboriginal word. Mordialloc means muddy creek or little sea. We are entering Hazel Priest Park, which means we are actually arriving at the south end of the Bay Trail. So this park, Hazel Priest Park, was named after Hazel Priest, the former mayor of city of Mordialloc. City of Mordialloc was a former city council which already disbanded and merged into city of Kingston. So now this is the southeastern end of the Bay Trail, and in front of me is Mordialloc Creek. By crossing this under this bridge, you're actually starting on Mordialloc Creek Trail. So technically Bay Trail stop here. A lot of people actually mention that Bay Trail should be all the way continue to Frankston, but in some official information that I researched, this part actually not included in the Bay Trail. So this is the part that I missed out on my last week video, and I'm going to go back to the future and pass this video back to Clem from last week. Alright, so currently I'm at next to Mordialloc Creek. So this is Mordialloc Creek, and this bridge at the behind me is Nipin Highway. So this is the southeastern end of Bay Trail, the 32 kilometers trail all the way from Port Melbourne, and this reserve is Hazel Priest Reserve, named after the former mayor of city of Mordialloc. So I'm going to have a look around and show you a little bit of this area. Alright, a little bit of walking around Mordialloc Creek. So it's time to head back to Port Melbourne. So that means that this will be the end of one of the most highest rated cycling trail in Melbourne, the Bay Trail. As usual, don't forget to click the like, subscribe my channel, and share it out. I'm Clem from Clem Travelog. I will see you on my next adventure. Goodbye.
By the way, for next week,